Hey, what's going on, everybody? Oscar season is upon us. The Oscars are coming. The ceremony is coming, so it's time for me to be embarrassed that I haven't seen 75% probably of what the Academy of my favorite subject deems to be the best films of the year, as it always is. And I want to run through these and kind of look at this and see what is going on with these nominations. And I'm excited to run through this with all of you guys. So let's take a look at this. This is via deadline here. Okay, so I'm going to start from the bottom of the nominations and work my way up, and then just kind of give you my take on them based on what I've seen and based on what I've heard about some of the stuff, and we'll go from there. So in the visual effects department, we have Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. Alien Romulus, Wicked, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Dune Part 2 absolutely deserve to be there. I've seen the trailer for Better Man, and I can see why maybe this got nominated for it, and I really am trying to think of anything that I would swap out, and I really can't. I mean, I'm told Mufasa is gorgeous. While the film might not be that great, I'm told that's a gorgeous one. I don't know, having not seen it, if I'd swap it out for any of these, but having seen the films in this category, I think that they did a pretty good job here. Moving on to sound, best sound, we have A Complete Unknown, yes. Dune Part 2, yes. Amelia Perez, Wicked, yes. The Wild Robot. I mean, all of these really make sense. I have not seen The Wild Robot, to be fair, or Amelia Perez, but seeing as Amelia Perez is a musical, again, I can't really think of anything you would swap out, nor can I say we can swap anything out because I haven't seen the film. And Wild Robot, again, I've heard tremendous things about the sound in that film, and all this really makes a lot of sense. I am a little surprised that in neither of these we've seen Inside Out 2, considering all the hype that film got. I am yet to watch Inside Out 2, so I will have to get back to you guys on that. Maybe once I see it, maybe I'll talk about it, but we'll see. So for best makeup and hairstyling, we have A Different Man, Amelia Perez, Nosferatu, hell yeah, The Substance, and Wicked. I have not seen three of these. The Substance I've not seen yet. I'm hearing great things about that. Amelia Perez, I'm hearing great things, and A Different Man, hearing great things as well. I think Wicked and Nosferatu absolutely deserve to be in the category. I can't think of anything I'd swap out. I'm surprised to not see Dune Part 2 in this one, but again, I haven't seen three of these films, so it would be really hard for me to say we can swap anything out there. That's the issue with not seeing some of these yet. Documentary short film, Death by Numbers, I Am Ready, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, The Only Girl in the Orchestra. This is a category I usually fall short on every year. I have not seen one of these at all, and I don't think a lot of people dive into these enough, and maybe we probably should. Again, we're always kind of coming up a little bit embarrassed, I feel like, with some of these categories as film lovers, so it's really fascinating to always read what gets in this category, because I always tell myself I'm gonna watch these and then I don't. So it's a really interesting thing. So for animated short film, we have Beautiful Men, In the Shadow of Cypress, Magic Candles, Wander to Wonder, and Yuck. Again, this is another category I always tell myself I'm gonna watch these, and then I don't. It really sucks that it's like that. I don't know why, especially since both of these categories I just read off are like short films. You'd think that we'd dive into them. Live action short film, I usually watch a couple of these a year, and but it's usually after the nominations come out. I don't really get recommended these much. There's a couple that I might get recommended, but we have A Leon, that's an interesting title. Anua, I don't know. I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. Again, I don't watch any of these, or I haven't watched any of these. I would like to watch them all, but anything I could do to help promote the films and the hard work that went into them, is always great. So for music, we have El Mal from Amelia Perez. So I've not seen the film, but I've heard the song, and I thought it was a really good song, so it makes a lot of sense it was in there. The Journey from the 6888, I never even heard the film, so haven't seen that one. Like a Bird from Sing missing again another song that I've heard while not having seen the film, and definitely deserves to be in here. Mi Camino from Emilia Perez. I've heard the song. Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And Never Too Late from Elton John. Never Too Late. And this is original song to keep in mind. I mean, I was thinking like A Complete Unknown, but then I was like, wait, what the hell? That's not original. And same for like Wicked. For those of you guys, like, why didn't that get in there? Well, it's original song, not adapted songs, you know, so that's essentially the difference, I think, here. And so I can't really speak to any. I could speak to some of the songs, but there's a couple there I can't really speak to, so that's the issue. Music original score: The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, The Wild Robot. Okay, so I have not seen 3 of these. Again, Conclave score is great and Wicked score is great. I will tell you right now, I will trade out Conclave score for Wicked or Doom Part 2 score any day of the week here. I don't know how Conclave got in before Doom Part 2. I did hear that there was some debate amongst whether Doom Part 2 can even go for this category because the score was the same score in the first film. I just disagree with that. It took pieces anyway from the first film, but Doom Part 2 also included its own original pieces as well. So I have a really hard time thinking that Doom Part 2 couldn't make it into this category. I think that's ridiculous. It absolutely should be in this category and probably should be the winner, to be honest with you. I don't know. Again, there's, you know, a few of these I can't really speak to, but I could tell you that Conclave score is not as good as Doom Part 2, and I think that should be in there. And Doom Part 2 beats out the Wicked score, although I think the Wicked score is definitely, it should be in here. So for costume design, we have Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. I've seen 4 of these. I've not yet watched Gladiator 2. I will get to that. I can tell you that everything here deserves to be there. I am really shocked, though, that Doom Part 2 didn't make it in this one either. It's really odd to me. I mean, maybe I would put it over, I don't know. It's really tough, though. It's one of those things where I don't want to call it a snub just yet, because looking at it, it's like, what do you take out, though? I think everything deserves to be here, and there's, you know, no doubt they did a great job with this one. It's just like, I'm just shocked at the lack of Doom Part 2 nominations we've had this year. Anyway, it had some already, so we'll keep going. For production design, we have The Brutalist, Conclave, Doom Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. I've not seen The Brutalist yet. I will get around to it. It's really tough because I got to travel a couple hours away to see this one, and I've heard the film is like over 3 hours long, and so I have to like dedicate a whole day to see The Brutalist. So I'm hoping it's streaming soon. That's definitely one I'd want to catch at home. I don't really have an issue with long movies, but when you have to travel 2 hours back and forth to see it, you know, you're dedicating a lot of a day. I just don't have the time to do it. So whenever it's streaming here, I can watch it. As for the rest of these, for production design, absolutely. I think that they hit the nail on the head. So I mean, this is really good stuff, I would say. For cinematography, The Brutalist, Doom Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. This one you could really debate a lot about, I think, because there's so many films with great cinematography this year. The Brutalist I haven't seen, but obviously from the trailer. Same with Emilia Perez. I haven't seen that one yet, but from the trailers you could tell. Doom Part 2 is an obvious here. Nosferatu is an obvious here. And Brutalist and Emilia Perez are almost obvious things here. I've not seen Maria though, and I was just trying to think of what I would swap out, and I think maybe Alien Romulus could have been a contender for this one because it really is gorgeously shot. I mean, from beginning to end. But then again, it's like Wicked maybe as well. You could maybe put in there, so it's interesting. Anora you could have maybe put in there. I don't know which one of these I'd swap out for those, but I'm just saying like those are probably pretty close, you know. Film editing: Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, and Wicked. I love Anora. It's one of the best films of the year. Doom Part 2 should be in over Anora. I'll tell you right now. Maybe over a few of these for editing. But I would actually swap Anora for Doom Part 2 in editing. I think Anora, again, is a fantastic film, but if we're talking the editing, I mean, you know, Doom Part 2, it's probably the least prone to this category. Again, it's not that the editing in Anora is bad, it's just it's not this like impressive spectacle of editing as opposed to like Doom Part 2. It kind of is a little bit more in my opinion, so I don't know. I mean, Anora has some really good cuts. Like there's parts where like the music cuts away at like the perfect moments to like kind of throw you off, which I could see why they were looking at that for sure. But honestly, if I'm gonna say anything about it, it would have to be like, I mean, Doom Part 2 would probably take its place if I could have that option. Documentary feature film, I usually don't talk about a lot of these or see these rather, but I would say, let's see. So Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, soundtrack to Coup d'Etat, Sugarcane, and yeah, I mean, I do watch documentaries. The ones I watch usually aren't the ones that get nominated, and if I start to hear like a lot of hype on one of these, I'll probably check them out, but at this point I haven't seen any of them. Animated feature film, Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, and The Wild Robots. And so yeah, so the obvious ones for me were going to be Wild Robot and Inside Out 2. I'm happy to see Wallace and Gromit in here because I heard a lot of hype about it. I definitely need to see it, but I heard like a ton of hype about it. And Memoir of a Snail and Flow have been getting a lot of hype as well. So I mean, this list is pretty much where I thought it would be. I thought maybe Transformers 1 would find a way in here because not one of my favorite films of the year, but it was pretty good. I mean, it was one of the better Transformers movies for sure. But you know, I haven't seen Memoir of a Snail or Flow, so it's like, what do you take out, you know? For international feature film, we have I'm Still Here. I've heard so much hype about that. The Girl with the Needle. I didn't realize that Emilia Perez was like a French film, like honestly, till today. Like it's got, you know, people we know, Selena Gomez and Zoe Saldana star in the thing, and I didn't realize it was considered international, but that is interesting. I can't wait to watch that one. The Seed of the Sacred Fig and Flow is, so it's really cool to see an animated feature get into the international feature category as well. That's always nice. But yeah, Emilia Perez and I'm Still Here, I need to watch those two for sure. They're just getting tons and tons of hype. It's pretty cool. Both of those, I'll spoiler alert, you know, they're both nominated for Best Picture, so it's really cool to see two international features get the Best Picture nomination this year as well. That's always a great shout out. For writing original screenplay, Honora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, The Substance, September 5th. So for me, I would actually take out A Real Pain out of this category. I have seen it, and I would take that out and put in Magpie for this. I thought Magpie was so excellently written from beginning to end. I think A Real Pain's a really good movie and a really good original screenplay, but for writing purposes, I think that Magpie was also all script, much like A Real Pain, and I think that it really deserves to be in this category. And you know, that's just my personal opinion, you know, but if the Academy sees A Real Pain, I also don't blame them for seeing it because it is a great script as well. So I'm just saying what I would do if it was me, but everything that's here deserves to be here. There's nothing I'm just like, what? So this is, yeah, they did a really nice job here for the nominations, I would say. All right, so for adapted screenplay, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. It's really criminal that Dune Part 2 was not in the adapted screenplay category. I think it really should be. I find it fascinating that it's not. That's weird to me. I think that I love A Complete Unknown, but I think you should put Dune Part 2 in over that one. I could speak to A Complete Unknown and Conclave, you know, on this, and you know, Conclave definitely, you gotta nominate that one because that movie's like all script. A Complete Unknown is script, but I also think that Dune Part 2, you're adapting this from a novel, and as well as they did adapt it from the novel, it needs to be in this category. I mean, it's so well adapted. I think that Dune Part 2 really may have got shorthanded this year. I really do think that it's, and maybe I'm biased because it's my favorite movie of 2024, so I'm just looking at it from that perspective probably, and maybe through that lens, but man, it should have been in more categories if you're asking me. Another one I would talk about though is Nosferatu. I'm shocked that that's not in here as well. That is an adaptation of Bram Stoker's Dracula when you think about it, and that's really shocking to not see in here. I would maybe, you know, I already kind of sang Conclave's praises, and I'm like, yeah, you got to absolutely nominate it, but then when I'm thinking about it, yeah, I would put Nosferatu over Conclave as far as the script goes, but again, it's my own personal bias, but that's where I'm going with that. All right, so for best directors, we have Sean Baker for Nora. Yes, I agree with that. Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, James Mangold for Complete Unknown. I'm so happy he got in for that. Jacques Auderard, I believe, for Emilia Perez, and The Substance, Cora Lee Fargy for The Substance. substance. I think that this looks solid, but again, I'm looking at Denis Villeneuve for Dune, and I would take out any of the two that I've seen for Dune. I'm just saying right now. I mean, gosh, if we're just talking direction, it's, you know, man, I would, for the two I've seen, I would probably swap Anora out for Dune Part 2. I loved Anora, and Sean Baker did one hell of a job directing that film, and I can easily see it being a Best Picture winner this year, to be honest with you. Kind of sitting here like, damn, this was, you know, Dune Part 2 I thought would definitely be in here. I think Denis deserves it. I think it's insane that it's not here. Actress in a supporting role: Monica Barbero in A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande in Wicked, Felicity Jones in The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini in Conclave, and Zoe Saldana, Amelia Perez. I've heard Zoe Saldana is like the favorite this year, and she might win this one, and I, you know, by all means, if she deserves it. I haven't seen the film, you know, definitely give her the award. For me right now, if I had to pick one for myself, it'd be Ariana Grande. I think Monica Barbero would be my second, just of the things I've seen, and I think Ariana Grande, I was so happy to see her in this category, and same with Monica Barbero. She was so fantastic playing Joan Baez and in A Complete Unknown. But Ariana Grande was the shocker of the year for me. Like, her performance surprised me, like it really did, and it was a strong performance. I really hope she, you know, if it was me, I'd say she should win, but again, you know, waiting to see Amelia Perez. Isabella Rossellini, okay, yeah, I could see it. I thought maybe Zendaya for Dune Part 2. She was definitely a strong part of that one. Again, I'm going on, like, I think Dune Part 2 got a little shorthanded. I'd probably swap her out for Isabella Rossellini, and I didn't see Felicity Jones in The Brutalist. I'm hearing great things about The Brutalist, so, you know, I'll have to get back to you guys on that maybe later down the line. Actor in a supporting role: Yura Barsev for Anora. I'm glad to see him in this category. He did a phenomenal job. Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain. I didn't think Real Pain was like one of the best movies of the year. Kieran Culkin absolutely deserves to be here. He is one of my favorite male performances of the year. Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown. Yeah, I thought he did a great job. I was shocked to see him in this category, but yeah, he did a great job. Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. Again, haven't seen The Brutalist. And Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice was another surprise for me, although I had not seen The Apprentice. I just figured, due to maybe some of the political implications of the film, that maybe they would want to nominate anything from it. But, you know, if Jeremy Strong deserves to be nominated for The Apprentice, then he absolutely should be here. He's a great actor, though. I mean, Jeremy Strong is a fantastic actor. I could tell from the trailers he was going to do a great job. Guy Pearce is a great actor too, even though he was miscast poorly in Iron Man 3, if you're asking me. If you were to ask me, though, who should win this, it's Kieran Culkin. I mean, Kieran, for A Real Pain, out of the things I'd seen, he was amazing. He's shaping up to be one of our finest actors right now. Between that and Succession, he's just done an incredible job with his career. So yeah, Kieran Culkin would be my pick, though, if I had to pick one. We'll go back through and give my picks, though, at the end of this. I know I've touched on a couple of them because I just can't help myself. What can I say? So for Best Actress, we have Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. Yes, absolutely deserves to be here. Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez. Again, haven't seen it. Mikey Madison for Nora. Yes, we'll talk about that here in a bit. Demi Moore for The Substance. Fernanda Torres for I'm Still Here. I think Demi Moore will get this one, by the way, guys, but Mikey Madison for Nora would be my personal pick so far. I think that she definitely has the best performance of the films that I've seen, and again, I have not seen The Substance, so I can't tell you how great Demi Moore is, but right now it'd be Mikey for Nora. That's where I would go with this, and I hope she wins. That performance, what she did with that character of Anora, to me, that's one of the most iconic female characters to me till the day I die, probably. I mean, that character felt so relatable in a way, even though I don't have that character's profession, obviously. She still just felt so relatable. There was the way the movie ends is all I can say. I just was like, I felt that character, and it was all because of that performance. Like, I felt what that character was feeling and what the ending of that movie really meant, and a lot of it was her performance. And I could say the same for Kieran Culkin. The reason that I think he should win that category is, oh my gosh, that ending, like how much I felt it through the performance. And sometimes it's one of those things where you don't need words, you know what I mean? Like, both of those endings for A Real Pain and Anora have they both have these endings where it's all performance and you just don't need any words. But I'll move on and get off my high horse on that. For Best actor, we have Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo for Sing Sing, and Ray Fiennes for Conclave, and Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Again, I was surprised to see Sebastian Stan, although I could see why he's here, and I can't think of anybody I'd swap him out with, really. What I will say is this is, with the exception of Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice, this is pretty much, it's gone how I thought it would go for the best actor. These are the actors I've been hearing about year round, but Timothy Chalamet, I think, should win for A Complete Unknown. That performance, it was next to impossible to do a Bob Dylan film, yet let alone play him the way that he did, as well as he did. It's too damn close to the actual guy. You know, The Complete Unknown was so good. I mean, his performance, without his performance, it wouldn't have worked the way it did. And so I just think that he's the guy. Again, I haven't seen Sing Sing. I've heard it's great. I haven't seen Conclave, or I've seen Conclave, but Ray Fiennes, I mean, come on, he gives a great performance, but it's not the best actor material, I don't think. I mean, he deserves to be nominated probably, but I'm saying as far as a winner, I don't see it. Sebastian Stan, The Apprentice, could be like an upset for Timothy, though, because, you know, he's playing a real guy too. I didn't see it to see how close it was, but I could tell you, Timothy Chalamet becomes Bob Dylan in the film, you know. So I don't know. Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, though. I mean, Adrian Brody's a great actor, and The Brutalist is one I'm it's probably the one I'm most excited to see next. So for Best Picture, here we go. The big award of the night: Anora, which I was so thrilled to see; The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. If I was to compare my top 10 best films of the year, it's very different from this. I will tell you that Wicked made my top 10, though. Anora made my top 10. A Complete Unknown made my top 10. Doom Part 2 is my favorite movie of 2024. So, you know, as far as that goes, Conclave, I would probably take out of here, put something else in. But then again, like, you know, there's a few of these I still haven't seen. Nickel Boys was the big surprise for me because, again, it was just one of those movies I just hadn't heard about till today. So I was really shocked to see that one, but maybe it's great. I don't know. But I can honestly tell you that these were great nominations. The one that I was hoping to see in here would have been Nosferatu. I think Anora deserves the nomination, and it's probably going to get it. I mean, another great movie was Longlegs. You know what I mean? I thought Longlegs was so impressively well done, and you know, just was two horror films that I think maybe should get its nomination. But yeah, you know, Wicked and you know, definitely deserves to be there. Anora deserves to be there. A Complete Unknown deserves to be there. I mean, they do have like my top 5 films of the year in the category, which is really nice to see. Like, my top 5 favorites of 2024 are in here, but it's like, again, I need to look at some of these other ones and see, you know, what you swap out again. But I would have loved, personally, if I was picking like my 10, I mean, Nosferatu's just one off the top of my head I would have thrown in, and Longlegs is another I would have thrown in there. So Magpie is one I would have thrown in. So we'll see, though, once I watch the other films, that they actually crawl up and equal out to what my top 10 movies of the year actually are. Usually it doesn't happen that way with the Oscars, though, I'll tell you that. Like, usually I watch the other nominees and it's like they're not bad, but you know, they're not top 10s for me. So it's fine, though. It's what's great about a subjective opinion. This is the vote of the Academy. This is what they deem to be the best movies of the year, so that's up to them. So I wanted to look at the studios. So Netflix earned 16 nominations total this year. A24 earned 14, Universal earned 13, Focus Features earned 12, Searchlight 10, Neon 7, Mubi 6, Warner Brothers 5, Paramount 3, Sony Pictures Classics 3, Briarcliff Entertainment Rich Spirit 2, Orion Pictures, Amazon MGM Studios 2, Slideshow/Janet's Films earned 2, 20th Century 2, Disney 1, IFC Films 1, Kino Lorber 1, MTV Documentary Films 1, National Geographic Documentary Films 1, and Picture House and Walt Disney. I wonder, Disney Plus earned 1, and Walt Disney earned 1, and Picture House earned 1. Okay. It's really interesting when you look at these distributors here, and like Netflix every year is leading this thing, and I feel like, and A24, and you know, Universal getting 13 is really cool. Is that because they did Emilia Perez, though? I wonder that. I'll have to look into that. It probably is. If you're looking at nominations nominations by film. Amelia Perez leading the charge with 13 of them. The Brutalist got 10. Wicked got 10. Complete Unknown got 8. Conclave got 8. Anora got 6. Doom Part 2 got 5. The Substance got 5. Nosferatu got 4. I'm Still Here got 3. Sing Sing got 3. Wild Robot got 3. Real Pain got 2. Flow got 2. Nickel Boys got 2. The Apprentice got 2. It's really nice to see that no film only got stuck with 1. I am very thrilled to see that Nosferatu got 4 nominations, even though it didn't make it into that Best Picture list for sure. Anora getting 6, more than Doom Part 2 at the beginning of the year. Probably even just a few months back, I would have said you're crazy. Yeah, I thought Doom Part 2 would be leading the charge here. I did think Amelia Perez was going to have a lot, so that lined up. I did also think Wicked would have a lot, but maybe not 10. Didn't think a Complete Unknown would get the recognition that it deserves for some reason. In my mind, I was like, it's kind of a lot of film to take in. Like, there's a lot going on with it, and it's, you know, it's really interesting. But all right, so I want to go back through one more time and just tell you what I think should win of the films I've seen. So we're gonna base it on that and what I think will win. So visual effects: Alien, Romulus, Better Man, Doom Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. What I think should win for visual effects here is Doom Part 2. What I think will win this one is Doom Part 2. I think that those are equal, 1 and 1. For sound, A Complete Unknown, Doom Part 2, Amelia Perez, Wicked, The Wild Robot. What I think should win this category is Doom Part 2. I also think Doom Part 2 will win the category. We will see. I think Amelia Perez could be an upset there, but I do think Doom Part 2 will win the category as of right now. Makeup and hairstyling, we have A Different Man, Amelia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. I think Amelia Perez is going to win this one. If I were to put one in there based on what I've seen, it'd be Nosferatu, but I think Amelia Perez will win the category. That is my bet right now. Documentary short film: Death by Numbers, I'm Ready, Warden, Incident, Instruments of Beating Heart, The Only Girl in the Orchestra. I haven't seen any of them, so we're going to skip right on to what I think will win. And right now I'm going to throw out The Only Girl in the Orchestra, just a random guess. Animated short film, haven't seen any of them, but Beautiful Men in the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candies, Wander to Wonder, and Yuck. What I think will win, I haven't seen any of these, so we'll skip right on to that. What I think will win is In the Shadows of the Cypress. It's just my random guess again. For live action short film, we have Alien, Anuda, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. What I think will win this category is I'm Not a Robot. Again, just a random guess. Music, original song, we have Al Mal from Amelia Perez, The Journey from the 6888, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Amelia Perez, Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late. What I think will win this category is Mi Camino from Amelia Perez. I also think it should win just based on the songs that I've heard at this point. So for music, we have The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. What I think should win at this point, based on what I'd seen, would definitely be Wicked. However, what I think will win is Amelia Perez. So costume design, we have A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu. What I think should win this category is probably Nosferatu. What I think will win this category is Gladiator 2. That is just my guess at this point. For production design, we got The Brutalist, Conclave, Doom Part 2, Nosferatu, Wicked. What I think should win is Doom Part 2. What I think will win this one is The Brutalist. That's my guess right now. Cinematography, we got The Brutalist, Doom Part 2, Amelia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. What I think should win this category is Doom Part 2. What I think will win is also Doom Part 2. Film editing, we have Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, and Wicked. What I think should win this category based on the ones I've seen is Wicked. What I think will win is Amelia Perez. Documentary feature film, I haven't seen any of these. Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, soundtrack to a Coupe d'Etat and Coupe d'Etat, Sugarcane. What I think will win this category, moving right along here, is Black Box Diaries. Animated feature film, we have Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, and The Wild Robot. What I think should win this category based on what I've heard of hype, I'm just going off hype on this one because I haven't seen any of them yet. The Wild Robot. What I think will win is Flow. International feature film, I haven't seen any of these. I'm Still Here, The Girl with the Needle, Amelia Perez, The Seed of the Sacred Fig, and Flow. What I think will win this one, I'll just move on to that, is Amelia Perez. For writing, we have Nora the Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5th, and The Substance. What I think should win based on what I've seen for writing is Honora. What I think will win is Honora. I genuinely do. Writing for adapted screenplay, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Amelia Perez, Nickel Boys, and Sing Sing. What I think should win, well, the only one I've seen is A Complete Unknown, so I mean it's really unfair. What I think will win for this one is A Complete Unknown. I really do think it'll get it. For directing, we have Sean Baker for Nora, Brady Corbett for The Brutalists, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez, and Coralie Fargit for The Substance. What I think should win, based on what I've seen for directing, is A Complete Unknown. What I think will win is Honora. Actress in a supporting role, Monica Barbero for A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Felicity Jones in The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, and Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez. What I think should win based on what I'd seen is Ariana Grande. Who I think will win is Zoe Saldana for Amelia Perez. Actor in a supporting role, we have Yura Borisov for Nora, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, Edward Norton for Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. What I think should win based on what I've seen is Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain. Who I think will win is also Kieran Culkin for Real Pain. Actress in a leading role, we have Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon for Amelia Perez, Mikey Madison for Honora, Demi Moore for The Substance, Fernanda Torres in I'm Still Here. Who I think should win based on what I've seen is definitely Mikey Madison, and who I think will win is Demi Moore for The Substance. Actor in a leading role, we have Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ray Fiennes for Conclave, Sebastian Stan for The Apprentice. Who I think should win for this, based on what I've seen, is Timothy Chalamet. Who I think will win is Timothy Chalamet. I think that's 1-on-1 there. And on to the best award for the night, or the big award. We have our nominees. Best Picture is Nora the Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. So for me, what I think should win this award based on what I've seen is Dune Part 2. What I think will win this award is Honora. All right, guys, so those are my Oscar thoughts and predictions and all that. I'd love to hear yours. It's really tough not having seen Amelia Perez. In my predictions, I do think Amelia Perez can be an upset for directing and Best Picture, although I think Honora is going to get both of them, and that's not me being biased. I actually think Dune Part 2 should have gotten both of them. Dune Part 2 is not even nominated for one of those. It's really disappointing to see that. Hey, here we are. That's just me. It's my own personal bias, but it's important to remember this is the opinion of the Academy. I know that there's a lot of Oscar parties and things that go around, and stuff that helps influence this type of thing to them to see these films. But if we're really being honest, it's this is what they deem the best movies of the year. What I love about the Oscars is it gets a lot of eyes on movies that you may have not have otherwise seen, or may have not otherwise have gotten the marketing that they deserve, without the names just being put out there more and more. So if it gets more eyes on it, I'm all for it. Hard work is hard work, and art is one of the hardest things that you can do, and so any chance to get your eyes on art, I'm all for it. It's also fun to just kind of predict these things too, and see what you got right and see what you got wrong by the end of the year. So it's always interesting. All right, guys, thank you for joining. Before I get out of here, please hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends, hit the bell for notifications. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this. My name is Dom, and I will talk to you guys later.